All right, everyone. It's now 2 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the State Expedited Accusations Calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding. When I ask if you understand your rights, these are the rights to which I'm referring. Participants, this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this proceeding today. Who do I have first? And I'm sorry, before we begin, Ms. Champion, what is my reset date?
The SAP reset date is going to be May 30th.
Thank you. Those who receive a surety bond will be reset to the May 30th state all purpose, same as if you receive a cash bond. Those who receive a signature bond, whether through pretrial or the jail, will be reset further notice. All right, who do we have first?
Position 3, Ms. Evans.
Good afternoon, Ms. Evans. Your case is 23 CR 002976Y. In this case, you're charged with simple battery. Do you understand your rights? All right. Mr. Howard, can I have her history, please?
It's a 10th arrest. Last was in March. Probation. She's on probation in Carroll County. Theft by receiving 2 counts of ag assault against law enforcement, cruelty to children, and fleeing an officer.
Your Honor,
I'm not on probation.
I wanted to do a breakout room to discuss this young lady. I should have put that in the chat sooner.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go into the breakout. Are there going to be other breakout cases today? Is this the only one?
I do not have any.
That was the only one I had.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and take care of that. If I could be placed in a breakout, please, with Ms. Reddick, Ms. Wills. Are there other parties that need to attend? All right, I don't believe so. All right, based upon the information before me, this young lady will receive a $1,500 surety bond. She is to stay away from the Pure Taqueria location, have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, undergo evaluations as discussed in breakout, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further from either the state or the defense as it pertains to Ms. Evans' case?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from the defense.
All right, Ms. Evans, that concludes your hearing at this time. Best of luck to you.
Position one, Mr. Bryant.
All right. Oh, no. All right, can we turn on the closed captions? Is the alarm going off at the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so we'll try to do the best we can. Mr. Bryan, I hope that you can hear me. Your case is 23 CR 002973G. In this case, you're charged with battery and criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights? You can just nod if you do. Do you understand your rights today? All right, thank you. Mr. Hart, can I have his history too?
You said this is Bryant?
Position one.
All right, third arrest. Last arrest was 2015, entering auto. He got first offender for that. 2014, theft by taking dismissed.
Thank you. Mr. Young?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
This incident occurred on March 20th, 2023 at 1940 Bishop Bryant, number 64 in Atlanta. The victim in this case, Avita Robinson, who would also ask the court to sign for her when appropriate if she is on the Zoom call. But what happened was the victim reported to law enforcement that the accused had struck the victim in the face several times with a closed fist, causing bruises and bleeding to the face and a busted lip. Law enforcement officers had notated that the victim also had bruises on her arms and legs, along with swelling to the back. The accused also threw the victim's phone, causing damage and damaged the bedroom door. The state does have some concerns given the nature of this relationship and what may be going on at this residence. With that being said, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, one-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right, thank you. I am going to sound for the victim. Will you please give me that name again?
Avita, Avita Robinson.
All right, Ms. Robinson, if you're present and would like to make a statement, this is your opportunity. All right, hearing and seeing none. Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I was not able to speak with Mr. Bryan, unfortunately.
Okay, would you like to call the jail now to speak with
Yes.
him? Okay, I'm sorry, we should have checked. Have all other members and defense attorneys had the opportunity to speak with their clients? I'm gonna assume,
I
yeah.
have spoken with all of my clients, Your Honor.
Okay,
He's the only
is there-
one I haven't spoken with, Your Honor.
is there a number that Ms. McLeod can call and we can take another position?
Yes, 404-612-2392.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Position two, Mr. How you say that? Eric? Ike. Okay. Position two.
All right, Mr. Ike, your case number is 23 CR 29774G. In this case, you're charged with simple battery family violence with the offense date of May the 15th. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
First arrest.
First arrest. All right, Mr. Young, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on May 15, 2023 at 324 3rd Street Northeast in Atlanta. The victim in this case is the accused spouse, Natalie Eek. She reported that there was a verbal altercation with the accused that turned violent when he grabbed her by the neck. Let me correct myself. When he grabbed her by the back of the legs and threw her against the wall before a tussle ensued. Law enforcement noted that the accused had a ripped shirt. Victim reports that law enforcement were at the home on March 23rd And the caller/witness stated that they occasionally hear rumbling in the accused home, but today it was more intense than ever. So that's what prompted them to call the police. The state does have some concerns about intimidation of the victim, and the state does have concerns about intimidation of the victim, given the nature of their relationship and the fact that the victim reported to law enforcement that they were there on March 23rd regarding the dispute. So with that being said, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Okay, I'd like the sound for the victim's name. Mr.
May I,
Young,
may I
or Ms.
speak?
Wil- 1 second. Well, who is, Mr. Young, please put the name of the victim onto the record. You're muted.
Natalie Eek.
Okay. I'm assuming that's the young lady who's on the Zoom conference as Natalie. Is it, pronounce it for me?
This is the college's email. It's,
Okay.
my maiden name is Huertas. I'm not
Okay.
married to Mr.
That's fine.
Ike.
Please raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in if you'd like to make a statement. However, you are not required to. All right.
All right.
Do you swear in and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm not sentencing your husband today, so the facts about what happened are not as relevant. What the court is most concerned with is whether you wish to have contact with him and whether you have any concerns for your safety. You can illuminate me as some of the facts, but that's what I'm most concerned with today. So what would you like to tell the court at this time?
Okay. I do not have any, I'm not in fear of my life or at risk of anything, and I just would really like my husband home. Stephen is an incredibly kind person, and they have been through a series of troubles, but every human has. And it's just part of life, and we are married, and the incident is 50-50. So I would like to contact them, and I would like to have them come home.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna ask that you stay on the line just long enough to see if the state or defense would like to cross-examine you or ask questions. Just hold 1 moment. Thank you for making that statement. Ms. Wills, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. My client, Mr. Ike, is 30 years old. As it was stated, this is his first arrest. He has resided in the state of Georgia for the past 4 years. He has a master's in computer science from Georgia Tech, and he's currently a doctorate student at Georgia Tech. He and Miss Ike have been together for 6.5 years and have been married for 3 months. My client reports that there was a verbal disagreement, that he did make efforts to de-escalate that disagreement. However, Ms. Ike did follow him throughout the residence and did to some extent instigate the escalation of said incident and restricted my client's movement about the home. Furthermore, Ms. Ike did grab my client. My client states that he is open and willing to participate in couples therapy to prevent this situation from happening in the future. Again, as Ms. Ike stated, she is not fearful of her husband. I believe they're both students at Georgia Tech. I would ask that my client be allowed to return to his home, that there be no violent contact between he and his wife, and that he be granted a surety bond. And if your honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $750 surety bond and a one-time law enforcement escort so he can pick up his belongings. But I would prefer a signature bond if possible. Thank you.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Young or Ms. Will, before I make my decision?
Briefly, Your Honor, some questions for the victim.
Very briefly.
Very-
Yes.
Miss Eek, My name is Justin Young, and I'm the ASG on the case. Just got a few questions briefly. Um, did the accused grab you by the legs and y'all fall into a wall?
Correct.
Okay, and then did he throw your oh, that was another case. There's nothing further.
All right. All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $3,500 surety bond. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, and he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further? All right, best of luck to you both. That concludes your case. All right, who do we have next?
Position 4, Mr. Handspike.
And Ms. Eek, you're free to go as well. All right, Mr. Handspike, your case is 23 CR 002975J. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of May the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard, may I have the history, please?
18 total, 2021 trespass. That's open in state court, 21 CR 004 932J, 2019 probation, 2014 burglary first offender. That's it.
Mr. Young?
Yes, Your Honor. The incident occurred at 3071 Campbellton Road, Southwest in Atlanta. This is the Southern Eye Specialist. The accused was arrested after returning to this location after being criminal trespassed on 7/26/21, arrested on 9/16/21, and then given another warning on 7/24/2022. We do have some concerns about reoffense given the accused history and the fact that he has been arrested and trespassed from this location multiple times. With that being said, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
All right, thank you. I just want to clarify, what type of business is this?
This is a medical plaza. It's that's how I look at it. It's a Southern Eye Specialist, like medical suites over there.
Okay. Okay. All right, Ms. Wills, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Handspike is 56 years old. He is currently residentially challenged, and I will be reaching out to social services for them to make a visit with him to assist him with housing resources. Mr. Handspike reports that he is originally from the state of Georgia, and he has an associate's degree in business administration. He is currently unemployed, and he reports that he was sleeping in his vehicle on the premises. However, he had done work for one of the tenants there the day before and then fell asleep in his vehicle that night and woke up. And I believe that incident, or at the time that the report was made, it was in the earlier morning hours. Again, my client is extremely limited. He has no income. He is a Navy veteran. And upon speaking with him and myself reviewing the fact that he had received previous warnings, he does understand that he cannot be on that property and will not return. So I am asking for a signature bond, Your Honor.
All right. All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $500 surety bond. He's to stay away from that incident location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck. I know you want to say something. The best thing for you to do is to speak to your attorney. Do you have a question about the bond, sir?
I do, because I don't have any money. And also my possessions, everything I own in the world is in my truck. And that is at a friend's apartment complex, everything I own. And I don't have the money. And I beg of you to allow me to have a signature bond. I was working and I have worked for other tenants in that office plaza complex. It's not just one business there. It is about 5 other businesses there. And I do odd jobs, have done odd jobs for each of them, okay? And I was not, where I was parked at, was not impeding any of the documentation.
Okay, I don't want you to say too much. I'm gonna consider that, Mr. Handspike. All right, I'll reserve ruling to the end. For now, the surety bond will stand, okay? I will consider that as we go through the calendar, all right?
Please, Your Honor, thank
All
you.
right, all right. Best of luck to you for now. All right. All right, who do we have next?
Position 1, Mr. Bryant.
Okay, so we're back. And I think I have that history. It was third arrest. And I have the facts, Mr. Young, though, please, if you would just give me the amount requested by the state on that case.
It was a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The incident location being 1940 Fisher Bryant, number 64 in Atlanta.
Okay. And the victim was not on the line, correct,
The-
Ms. Robinson?
That's
Okay.
correct.
All right, Ms. McLeod, please.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He is currently not employed, Your Honor, although he has worked, but he has not been employed for the past 3 months, he tells me. He and the victim, the alleged victim, do not live together, never have lived together, but I do believe that they live in the same apartment complex. But he lives in a different apartment from her. My client totally denies that he struck the victim. He says this is the case that the victim is upset because he broke the relationship off with her and started dating one of her friends. He said she broke her own phone and did all of that, and then she called the police because she wanted to have him arrested. Your Honor, I believe this incident allegedly happened sometime in April. And to my knowledge, there has not been any interaction between them since then. This is what my client tells me, because he does not wish to have any kind of interaction with the alleged victim. Given the fact that my client has no significant criminal history, Your Honor, I would ask the court to give him a signature bond so he can get out of jail. He doesn't have any money for bond in any case because he has not been able to work for the past 3 months. Although he is looking for a job, he hasn't secured a job yet, Your Honor, and he doesn't have anyone to help him with bond. Nothing further.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond per judge through pretrial services. It's 2,000, count 1, 1,000, count 2. He's to take the 1-day anger awareness course. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from the, I think it's 1940. I did not catch the rest of the incident location. Should he need to return, he can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Yes, Your Honor, they don't live together. They live in the same complex, but different apartments.
Okay, so he needs to stay 1,000 feet away from her apartment. All right, anything further from there?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Position 5, Mr. Jonathan. That's your first name.
Jonathan?
Okay, Mr. Jonathan, your case is 23 CR 002969. See, you're charged with simple battery in this case. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
15 total. Last arrest was last month. Disorderly conduct out of Alpharetta. 2021 FTA, 2021 public intoxication resisting arrest, 2019 failure to appear. Also got 2022, 2023 failure to appear, 2023 assault 3rd degree, and 2009 burglary. That's it.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Reddick, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident happened May 14, 2023, at approximately 10 p.m. at 915 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, Georgia. It's a Taco Bell. The officer was responding to a fight call involving this defendant and the victim, Mr. Dexter Morrell. Mr. Morrell may be on the line, Your Honor. Would you sound for him when appropriate? Upon arrival, the officer encountered Mr. Morrell, who was having difficulty relaying information regarding the incident as he had begun feeling lightheaded and started to vomit. The officer was advised that the defendant entered the Taco Bell and complained that he did not receive his complete food order. Mr. Morrell advised the defendant that he had been preparing the orders all evening and that the defendant was not missing any items. The defendant acknowledged that he wasn't missing items and then demanded additional free food from Mr. Morrell. When Mr. Morrell declined to provide the additional items, the defendant attacked him by hitting him in the face and in his body. The defendant then exited the Taco Bell and then returned a few moments later and attacked Mr. Morrell again by punching him in the face and in his body. They had to be separated by others on scene. Mr. Morrell was checked by EMS and then transported to the North Fulton Hospital for a possible concussion. Your Honor, in light of the defendant's previous FTAs and this unprovoked attack, we have concerns with his returning to court. We also have concerns with him reoffending in light of his history. And so we are asking that he be given a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with victim Morrell, stay away from the Taco Bell at 915 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, 1 day anger management class, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, I'm sounding for Mr. Morrell. Mr. Morrell, if you are present, this is your opportunity to speak. All right, hearing and seeing none. Ms. Wills, please proceed.
Mr. Jonathan is 37 years old. He has completed some college. He does not have any children, and he is currently looking for employment. And speaking with Mr. Jonathan, he does deny the allegations as alleged. He states that he arrived to the Taco Bell, that he did indeed purchase food, and he does have proof of that purchase. And then he was assaulted. He was jumped by the workers there after a disagreement. My client, as a result of the attack, had to receive stitches. He had a fractured jaw and a broken finger, and you can see his injuries just through the screen, Your Honor, here today. In light of that, well, my client has no objection to staying away from the Taco Bell. He has no objection to not having any further contact with any of those workers that were there. As a matter of fact, he does not want to have any contact with them after this unprovoked attack that he was victim of. I am requesting a signature on bond, and if Your Honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $500 surety bond.
All right, defendant will receive a $3,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, stay away from the Taco Bell on Holcomb Bridge Road, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Yes, Your Honor, we had also requested the 1 day anger management class.
As I'm giving him a surety bond and not sending him through pretrial for a signature bond, that will not be something I'm able to do at this vantage point. All right. His case, as a reminder, will be reset to state all purpose on May the 30th, should he not make bond. All right, that concludes his case. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 7 and 8, Mr. Mincy.
Okay. All right, are you Cyrus Vinci? All right, Mr. Mincy, you have 2 cases with 3 charges total. Your case is 23 CR 002970D, in which you're charged with simple battery with the offense date of April the 27th. The second case is 23 CR 002972D, in which you're charged with fleeing and eluding, willful obstruction, failure to obey signs, reckless driving, and reckless conduct with the offense date of January the 7th of 2023. Do you understand your rights? You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
6 total. Got an open fling, possession of marijuana out of Coweta County, shoplifting in Fulton. 2023 marijuana possession out of Alabama. On probation, simple battery, family violence. 20 CR 004741E. Back in December, they gave him 12 months probation for that.
Did I take that plea? Are you able to see that?
I can look it up unless state knows. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't get, I wasn't able to,
I feel like
look
I
at
took
those.
that plea, but let's.
I'll look it up. Right. I'm done though. Oh, a 2022 shop there.
Okay, I feel like this case has been before me.
I'll
Okay,
look it up where y'all go.
okay, thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff, please proceed.
All right, good afternoon, Judge. So position 7, that incident occurred April 27th, 2023 at no, I'm sorry, is that position 7, the simple battery, yes. At 3215 DeVille Trace in South Fulton. And this is where officers arrived and they spoke to Miss Jamila Jenkins, who is the defendant's mother, who advised that her and her son were in a verbal dispute over her believing that he took her car keys without her permission. The defendant left the location and he returned back and they began arguing, and the defendant then threw a bottle of beer at her direction. The bottle didn't hit Miss Jenkins, but the beer did make contact with her. A witness, Mr. Verdell, the defendant's granddad, he was there and he did confirm the events in the warrant. Our victim advocate did speak to Miss Jenkins, and she said that this is not the first time something like this has occurred. She stated that she fears the defendant when he gets crazy and she doesn't know what he'll do. She also stated she would like to have contact with him, but she wants him to stay away from her address, which is a different address from the incident location. So for these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Miss Jamila Jenkins, and to stay away from her address, which is 3378 Greenbrier Parkway, apartment 3100, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if Miss Jenkins is on the call, I'd like to sound for her.
All right, we'll do, since the charges are, very different, let's go ahead and handle this one all at once. Is Miss Jenkins present on this Zoom conference? All right, hearing and seeing none, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 19 years old. I am not sure about the history that was given because my client told me that he's never been arrested. So
I don't think that's true. I think this case, something similar was before me. Ms. Howard, were you able to verify whether I took that plea?
There's law to the plea.
Judge Law took it. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
yes, Your Honor. My client is 19 years old. He does not live with the alleged victim, his mom. In fact, he lives with his grandparents. I was not able to speak with mom, but I did speak to his grandfather, who I think may be on the Zoom. My client is not in a position to pay bond, Your Honor. So I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond, since he really doesn't have, apart from a shoplifting, I believe that was said, he doesn't have any violent criminal history. I spoke with his grandfather, who allegedly was there when this incident happened, and the complaining witness is his daughter. And he told me that he's in the process of helping his grandson to find an apartment. But until that happens, he doesn't mind having him living with him in the household. So I would ask—
1 second. Can somebody tell me who was the alleged victim in the case he took?
his mother, Your Honor.
Yes,
his
Jamila
mother?
Jenkins, yes.
In the last case, I thought it was his mother in the last case.
Oh, no, I'm not sure about that.
That's
one.
what I want to know. Is this the same victim?
Hold on, let me look.
I don't believe it was. So I'm busy. Okay, I guess that part
Yeah,
isn't
just
that
give me a
relevant.
moment.
Okay.
I'll just pull the warrant. Hold on. All right, let's see. So 14. Joan Mincy, his grandmother.
Okay. So not the same victim. All right, I will accept the state's recommendation at this time. Defendant's gonna receive a $3,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and he's to stay away from where the victim resides. If he needs to get anything from that location, he can return one time with a member of law enforcement. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, let's
Your
move to, I'm sorry, go ahead. He has one more case.
Oh, yeah, that's right, he does.
He has a second case, so let's do that one. We have the history. Ms. Bickerstaff, if you would please proceed.
Yes, so this incident occurred January 7, 2023 at 5999 Old Bill Cook Road. And this is where Officer Powell observed the defendant driving at a high rate of speed on Old National Highway. And when the officer activated his emergency lights and sirens, the defendant didn't stop. And so the defendant also drove through several red lights and stop signs. He continued to drive recklessly through a Kroger plaza on Old National Highway while civilians were present. The warrant also stated that the defendant brake checked the officer several times, and because of all this, Officer Powell stopped his pursuit of the defendant and he dispatched the incident into the police station. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $7,000 surety bond. It'll be $1,000 on the driving, fleeing, $1,000 on the willful obstruction, $2,000 for failure to obey signs, and $2,000 for the reckless driving, and $1,000 for the reckless conduct, as well as no driving without DDS approval, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. He did not see the police, or he did not know that they were trying to stop him on this day. He said he was just coming from the soup. My client is not in a position to post a bond. So I would ask the court, since these are traffic-related offenses, to give him a signature bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond, $500 on each count. He's not to drive unless he has a valid license as issued by the Georgia DDS. And additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, and as a reminder, he will be reset to state our purpose on the 30th. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who do we have next?
Position 9, Mr. Ware.
All right. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Ware. Your case is 23 CR 002968Y. In this case, you're charged with simple battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have this?
Fourth arrest, 2011 resisting officer conviction, 2011 battery dismissed, 08 burglary first offender.
You said 08 battery?
08 burglary first offender.
Burglary. Okay, thank you. Ms. Reddick?
Your Honor, this incident happened on August 19th, 2021 at 1000 Logistics Center Drive in Fairburn. The business is called Materials in Motion. Officer responded to an active fight. When the officer arrived, he spoke to the victim, Mr. Reginald Magruder. When appropriate, Your Honor, we would ask that you sign for Mr. Magruder. The officer was advised that the defendant confronted Mr. Magruder in reference to being fired. Mr. Magruder further advised that the defendant struck him in the face and pushed him. Mr. Magruder advised that he did not respond or retaliate, but instead walked away. The officer also spoke to a witness, the security officer, Mr. Phil Isaac, who corroborated the statements of Mr. Magruder. Since the defendant also has, I don't know if pretrial said it, but the defendant has cycles out of Florida. So the 2008 offense would have been out of Florida, as well as the 2011 arrest would have been out of Florida. This would be his first offense in Georgia. Our concern is that he is a multi-state offender and he may not have ties to the community. Additionally, we are concerned with the risk of reoffending. As such, Your Honor, we're asking that his bond be increased from the 1,000 that's been set to a 3,000 surety bond. No further contact with Mr. Magruder. Stay away from materials in motion. 1-day anger management class. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, is Mr. Magruder on this Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? Ms. Wells, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Ware is 32 years old. He has resided in the state of Georgia for the past 9 years and does have relatives as well as a support system here. He has obtained his high school diploma. He is the father of 3 children, an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and 1-year-old. Mr. Ware is currently employed with Pro Logistics as a warehouse worker, and he has been employed there for the past 2 to 3 years. Mr. Ware denies the allegations as alleged. Again, this incident did occur in August of 2021. And it is his understanding that the alleged victim is someone that he formerly worked with. He no longer works there. He has not had any contact with this victim and has no risk of coming back into contact with this victim. And he has not been in any trouble since this time, which again was 2 years ago. Again, my client's last arrest was in 2011, and we would absolutely object to an increase in his bond. Your Honor, I would request a signature on bond. No, and we have no objection to the no further contact and stay away. And if Your Honor is not so inclined to issue a signature bond, I would ask for a $500 surety bond.
All right, defendant's bond will remain as set at the $1,000 surety. He's to have no contact with Mr. Magruder and stay away from the materials location. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your hearing. All right, who do we have next?
Position 1 on add-on calendar. Dunnigan.
All right, Mr. Dunnigan, your case is 23 CR 002977F. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, each with the offense date of May the 13th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard can I have the history.
Let's see. Last arrest was 2021, probation violation. Got an open case out of Harris County, 2 counts of burglary. Hold on. That's the crime assessment. Got an ag assault conviction, hijacking a motor vehicle, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission, possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under 18, armed robbery. All those were convictions from 2009.
Okay.
Got a 2021 obstruction conviction out of Fayette County. 2021, okay, that's the burglary. That's open. That's it.
Okay, Mr. Young.
Yes, Judge, this incident occurred on May 13th, 2023 at 4005 Runnymede Lane in East Point, Georgia, where law enforcement spoke with the victim, Ms. Jessica Sherns, who I see is on the Zoom, so we'd ask the court to sign her when appropriate. But anyway, she told the officers that the accused slammed the door on her leg when she tried to leave and placed his arm around her neck and pulled her back inside the residence. A witness, the victim's 17-year-old daughter, stated that she heard the disturbance, came and saw the accused with his arm around the neck of her mother, pulling her back inside the residence. Our victim advocates were able to speak with Ms. Sharon, who stated that they had lived together at the incident location. This is not the first incident. She wants to know for the contact and to stay away. And I believe she filed for a TPO today. Also, the victim had later stated that she could not breathe and she lost bladder control when he had his arm around her neck and shaking her from side to side. So at some point, the state is going to see about transferring this up to the district attorney's office. The state does have concerns about the safety of the victim in this case and the risk of reoffense, given the nature of his criminal history and some of his convictions. So with that being said, the state is asking for a $5,500 surety bond. That's $5,000 on the simple battery, family violence, and $500 for the possession of marijuana. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. 1-day anger awareness, and one-time police escort, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I forgot to clarify for the factual basis, when officers went into the room to speak with the accused, they noticed a small bag of suspected marijuana on the bed that they believed that the accused was trying to conceal. That's the factual basis for the marijuana case. That's all from the state.
Thank you. Ms. Shines, I see you on the line. If you would like to make a statement, please raise your right hand and unmute your screen. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. Now, again, I am not sentencing the defendant today. So the facts and your statements about what happened are not as critically important as your position regarding contact or fear for your safety. That is what the court is most concerned about. And if any facts will illuminate my decision as to that, that is what I would like to hear most. What would you like to tell me, Ms. Shines?
Yes, I do fear for my safety and for my children's safety. There are always comments of anger and no compromise when we're talking about things. He starts to get out of control, shake, or get explosive. And my kids are scared, especially my youngest one. I have to get her counseling because she's had problems ever since then. And my family and her dad and everybody is concerned. And so even as a mother, I would ask that he stays away.
All right. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Ms. Wills?
Thank you, Judge. My client is 31 years old. He has been in custody for the past 3 days as he was transferred from another jail. I believe he was arrested in East Point possibly and then transferred here to Fulton County. My client is originally from Georgia. He does have a GED. He has 2 children who he has joint custody of, a 15-year-old and a 2-year-old. Mr. Dunnigan is a business owner. He owns QN Cleaning, which is a carpet cleaning business, and he has had that business for the past 3 years. He also works for works with Dye Master Group as a subcontractor, and he has been with them for the past 6 weeks. Mr. Dunnigan reports that he allowed the alleged victim to live in his home back in January along with her children. He states on the day of this incident, which was just 3 days ago, it was the alleged victim who was the aggressor, that my client, the alleged victim did attempt to leave or was going to leave, then changed her mind, tried to come back through the door as my client was closing the door. He never intentionally slammed the door on the alleged victim. He alleges that she stumbled through the door. The only time he made physical contact with her was to restrain her from hitting him. My client reports that he even went to his bedroom and locked the door to de-escalate the situation and was trying not to engage. The only vehicle, my understanding is the only vehicle that was there belonged to the alleged victim. So my client did not have the opportunity or choice to drive away from the residence. And so that is why he went into his bedroom. And according to the police report, that is where he was located when the police arrived. He was in his bedroom. My client reports that the entire incident was caught on his Ring camera, and he did ask for law enforcement to review the video footage. However, they did not. My client's only convictions were, and while serious, they are from 14 years ago. I would ask for a signature on bond. It's my understanding that Ms. Stearns has vacated the premises. The lease is only in my client's name. I would ask that he be allowed a one-time police escort to determine that she has officially vacated the premises before he reoccupies it. I would ask that if she is still there and there is a no contact provision, that he be allowed to pick up his belongings with law enforcement as well. And I am asking for a signature bond. And if Your Honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $750 surety bond. I also would like it to be noted that my client was only charged with simple battery. So given the extent of what the additional facts that Ms. Stearns provided to the victim advocate that were not included in the police report, as far as losing bladder control or consciousness, none of that was mentioned in the police report, Your Honor, and there were no marks or bruises noted. So I would just like to state that for the record.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 split bond. It'll be $4,000 surety on the simple battery family violence and $1,000 signature through the jail for the marijuana possession. He is to have absolutely no contact with Ms. Sherns or her children at this time. He is to stay away from the incident location should Ms. Sherns reside there. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to make that determination. If she is still at that location, he must stay away, but he can collect his items. If she's no longer there, he can return. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Yes. How much of that was good?
4,000
How much was SOB?
SOB through the jail.
Thank you.
Mr. Dunnigan, I understand that you have questions. The best thing to do is to speak to Ms. Wills regarding any questions. If you have a limited question about the bond, I can hear that. But what I don't want you to do is speak about the facts of the case that may result in further incrimination in violation of your constitutional rights. What is your question?
Well, I spoke to my mom yesterday, and I guess my mom had been in contact with Ms. Sherns about the whole thing, and from my understanding, she had left the home.
Okay, what I decided and what I ruled is that if she's not there, you can go back. If
Yes,
she,
ma'am.
okay,
I'm sorry, because what I was gonna say is, I know her living situation is hectic, so if she's still there and she's not able to leave, I have plenty of other residents that I can go to until everything is resolved.
all right. So that sounds like that falls in line with the ruling today. All right,
Making
all
sure.
right, all right. Best of luck to you, sir. Does that conclude the entire calendar?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and as after further consideration, Mr. Handspike will receive a $3,000 SOB through the jail with the same conditions. All right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right.
What happened with McGee?
Medical reset is what I have.
Yes, medical reset.
All right, I believe that concludes the entire calendar. Ms. Champion, will you please review?
Position number 1 is a total of a $3,000 pretrial bond per judge. It's going to be reset for the notice. Position number 2 is a $3,500 good bond reset SAP 530. Position number 3 is a $1,500 good bond. It's going to be reset to the SAP competency June 1st. Position number 4 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset for the notice. Position number 5 is a $3,500 good bond reset SAP 530. Position number 6 is going to be reset 517C medical. Position number 7 is a $3,000 good bond reset SAP 530. Position number 8 is a total of a $2,500 good bond reset SAP 530. Position number 9 is a $1,000 good bond reset SAP 530. And position number 1 on the add-on is a total of a $5,000 split bond reset SAP 530. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Champion. I
Thank
believe
you.
hearing none, that concludes the entire SCA calendar. We'll be in recess until tomorrow's SCA calendar where I again will be presiding. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.
Good afternoon.
Okay, bye-bye.